not realize is that their holiday purchases make them the perfect target for thieves. So the LAPD is stepping up enforcement during the holiday season. Officers will be on horseback, bicycle, undercover, in uniform, and on patrol. It's all in an effort to send one clear message to criminals.
It's a good chance if we see you, you're going to go to jail.
Police officials say you can also do your part to prevent becoming a victim. They say when you're out and about doing your holiday shopping, be sure to always lock your car and hide any valuables in the trunk, or better yet, leave them at home. The bottom line, they say, use common sense and be aware.
And when you're at the stores, try to make provision to secure your items from each location. Don't let a lot of merchandise, your hard-earned, expensive merchandise pile up in the vehicle and be a target for suspects who want to break in and take.
As part of the increased enforcement, the LAPD North Hollywood Division is also parking its anti-shoplift mobile command post vehicle in plain view of shoppers and potential shoplifters. The vehicle will be stationed at various department stores throughout North Hollywood. Another clear message that officials are cracking down hard on crime this holiday season. I'm Yana Kay for LA This Week.
When we talk safety around the holidays, fire safety is one of the most important topics. Whether it's a menorah, festive candles, or Christmas tree lights, if not done correctly, they can lead to the unthinkable. Here's Anna Marcos.
The kids in the Ambers family are playing and enjoying the holiday season, but it was a far different story last year when a burning candle fell out of their lit menorah and their home burst into flames.
We did everything right, and yet everything went wrong.
I smelled the smoke. We lit up the candles, and then when we got back from getting our presents, then one of the candles tipped over, and my brother saw it.
This holiday season, the Ambers family is joining fire officials in warning the public about the dangers of burning candles.
Fire safety in the home is paramount because we want to be able to live and celebrate the holiday seasons again and again and again.
If there was one warning that we could give the public about open flames, is use battery-operated candles.
At a separate news conference, LA fire officials demonstrated how quickly an electric spark can ignite and engulf a dried-out Christmas tree. So as you celebrate the holiday season, here are some tips. Don't leave burning candles unattended, or place the tree close to a heat source like a fireplace or heater. And don't overload electrical sockets when putting up lights. Here are some things you should do. Use trays with water under the candles. Water the Christmas tree regularly to maintain its moisture. And always have working smoke and carbon monoxide detectors in your house. As for the Ambers family, they have retired the menorah their child made at school. They're now using an electric menorah to light up their holidays instead. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
On a lighter note, if you're thinking of bringing home a pet this holiday season, one city leader is encouraging you to pay a visit to your local shelter. It may not look like work, but Councilmember Paul Koretz is in fact on the job as he cuddles kittens and visits with cats in cages on a tour of the Best Friends Pet Adoption Center. Koretz and LA Animal Services General Manager Brenda Barnett paid a visit to the Best Friends Pet Adoption Center in Mission Hills to spend time with some cuddly animals, but also to send an important holiday message to animal lovers everywhere. Adopt till you drop.
In the month of December, we are adopting cats out for only $25 in all of our shelters, and that is being funded by Best Friends Los Angeles. And so everyone come out and adopt a wonderful animal like the cat I'm holding here right now. Hey, sweetie.
The Best Friends Pet Adoption Center, along with the 6 LA Animal Services shelters, will be charging the discounted adoption fee every weekend in December. The $25 fee includes spay-neuter, vaccinations, and microchip for every dog, cat, puppy, and kitten. Launched on Black Friday, the Adopt Till You Drop promotion helped more than 300 pets find homes in its first weekend.
Best Friends operates one of our city shelters, and their whole goal in doing this is to help us save more animals' lives and to get Los Angeles to be a no-kill city by 2017.
I'd much rather save a animal rather than have one put down.
Sue Stevens is just the type of pet owner the shelters are looking for to help the city reach its no-kill goal.
We actually have a 6-month-old cat at home who needs a friend, a very rambunctious friend.
And since opening in January of 2012, the Best Friends Adoption Center has spayed or neutered 8,000 pets and adopted out more than 4,000 pets. Make that 4,001. While the shelters are encouraging you to take advantage of adopting this holiday season, it's not always a good idea to adopt a pet to give as a gift. With that said, for details on the December Adopt Till You Drop program, go to bfla.bestfriends.org for details. Police need your help to solve the murder of a 7-year-old boy. And it's official, homeowners in certain communities can paint murals on their houses if they want to. Also, a deal has been reached that will delay raises at the LADWP. These stories and more in City Beat. LAPD homicide detectives are asking for the public's help as they try to track down the suspects who fatally shot 7-year-old Talib Picante on Monday, December 2nd in the Mid-City area. It happened at 8:55 p.m. in the 1900 block of South Corning Street. Police say Picante was sitting in a car with his mother and her friend when 4 African-American men fired multiple shots into their car from a white vehicle. A $50,000 reward is being offered for tips leading to the arrest and conviction of the suspects. If you have any information, you are asked to call 1-877-LAPD 24/7. Los Angeles city officials flipped the switch on a new traffic signal at the intersection of Cohasset Street and Tujunga Avenue in North Hollywood. The new traffic light replaces a 4-way stop sign at the intersection, which has seen multiple accidents, including one fatality.
Very, very pleased that we're finally able to increase pedestrian safety here for the students here around Camellia Elementary School and for the other residents of the neighborhood.
This is really good to see this and to be a part of safety here for our community and especially for our school-age pedestrians.
According to city engineers, nearly 11,000 cars drive the stretch of Tujunga Avenue each day. The LA City Council has formally approved a pilot program allowing murals to be painted on single-family homes in northeast Los Angeles, Boyle Heights, and parts of South Los Angeles. The program was tentatively approved in early December, but has now received final approval by the City Council. This means private residences in the 1st, 9th, and 14th districts, represented by City Council members Gil Cedillo, Curran Price, and Jose Huizar, respectively, can paint murals on the exterior walls of their homes. The ordinance also allows murals to be painted on roll-down security doors on commercial and industrial buildings. The Los Angeles City Council has approved a new 4-year labor contract with about 8,200 Department of Water and Power workers that delays pay raises and revamps pension plans. Union members ratified the deal in September. LADWP workers had been scheduled to get a cost of living raise of about 2% on October 1st. The new agreement will delay that increase to 2016, saving the utility what city leaders estimate to be about $6.1 billion over 3 decades. The savings is expected to help control the cost of utility rates, which are still planned to increase over the next 3 years. The LAPD is helping to promote literacy with the help of a special library, one that is not much larger than a mailbox. Rasha Goel explains.
It's called the Little Free Library. It's a take-a-book, return-a-book gathering place where neighbors share their favorite literature by picking up a book and also bringing another one to share. And now the LAPD in the 77th Street area is housing a Little Free Library to help provide an educational and outreach tool to children in the area.
Anyone can come, borrow a book, and actually use the station to read the book if they like.
The free little library at LAPD 77th Street area will have books mostly for kids under the age of 16, and the books are free.
So often we have kids that wander around and are intimidated by a station, so now they can come in and actually have a place to sit down and read some books. So it's another great step in building the relationship with the community, and especially with the kids.
Douglas Chadwick, who built the little library, says it's a hobby that brings him great joy.
I like building things, and my wife and I both enjoy doing things for kids, and we're just so proud and humbled. It's amazing.
This is the first LAPD station to house the Little Free Library, with hopes to expand more throughout the other stations. I'm Rasha Goel for LA This Week.
The Little Free Library movement started in 2009 when one man in Wisconsin built a model of a schoolhouse on a post, which he stuck in his front yard with a sign that said free books. And the rest, as they say, is history. For more information on how to start your own Little Free Library, go to littlefreelibrary.org. An Olympic icon and Knott's Berry Farm are making the season brighter for a group of inner-city kids. As Gil Reyes reports, many of them are getting a priceless gift, their first time on the ice.
Two-time Olympian Ty Babylonia and everyone's favorite Beagle putting on a show that these kids won't soon forget.
I loved it. What I most loved was Snoopy.
The cast of Knott's Berry Farm's It's Christmas, Snoopy gave a free show to about 100 kids from LA's Best after-school program. LA's Best serves kids from some of our city's most at-risk neighborhoods. The show at downtown LA's Pershing Square, set up by LA's Department of Recreation and Parks.
They provided this opportunity for us. They understand what our organization is, and that most of our kids might not have this opportunity otherwise. Ice skating, let alone going to Knott's Berry Farm.
How'd you guys like Snoopy? Wasn't he great? Oh my God, we did it last year, and I guess it was a hit, and they brought me back this year, and I'm just over the moon about it.
The kids also got a chance to skate for free, most of them for the first time. Kids of all ages showed up, including former child star Butch Patrick, star of classic TV shows Lidsville, and of course, as boy werewolf Eddie Munster on The Munsters.
Happy holidays, everyone, and I hope to see you all next year. 2014 is the 50th anniversary of The Munsters, and I'm going to be around a lot extensively next month, so look for me.
Snoopy may be gone, but the holiday skating will continue here through January 20th. It costs $8 to skate, $2 to rent the skates here, so come on down. At Pershing Square, Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
And in this week's list of things to do, the Nutcracker Ballet, a beginner's hike at Griffith Park, and the LA Zoo's annual reindeer romp. What's the holiday season without a production of the Nutcracker? Los Angeles Ballet's celebrated original production of the Nutcracker returns at UCLA's Royce Hall on Saturday and Sunday, December 21st and 22nd, which shows at both 1 and 5 p.m. each day. Join Uncle Drosselmeyer, Clara, and her beloved Nutcracker as they battle the Mouse King and his army, journey to the land of snow, and to the enchanted palace of the dolls. UCLA's Royce Hall is located at 340 Royce Drive. Ticket prices and other information can be found by going to losangelesballet.org. And it might be cold out there, but that won't stop Griffith Park Ranger Ernie Ibarra from leading a 3-mile beginner hike on Saturday, December 21st to the LA Zoo and the Autry National Center. As usual, meet at 8 a.m. at the Griffith Park Ranger Station Visitor Center at 4730 Crystal Springs Drive. The group will be stopping for breakfast at the farmers market, so be sure to bring cash. The hike will last until about noon. In the event of rain, the hike will be canceled. You can go to Ranger Ernie's Facebook page at facebook.com/Ranger Ernie for more details. And you can pay a visit to Santa and his reindeer at the Los Angeles Zoo. 4 reindeer are on exhibit at the LA Zoo from now until January 2nd, with the exception of Christmas Day. Aside from visiting the reindeer, the zoo is creating a one-of-a-kind holiday wonderland this year. Celebrate with activities including holiday crafts and photos with Santa from now until Christmas. The zoo is located at 5333 Zoo Drive. Go to lazoo.org for details. And that's a look at some upcoming things to do. And about those reindeer at the LA Zoo, our own Anna Marcos paid a visit to the prancing guests and brings us this behind-the-scenes report.
Look at that. Look at those antlers. They're huge.
Oh, the wonder of those mythical creatures. Yes, reindeer are real, and so are the antlers. And the LA Zoo now has 4 of the Christmas guests here for the holidays as it launches its annual Reindeer Romp. But if you're looking for Rudolph, you'll be a little disappointed. He's getting ready for his big night, bringing toys to all those kids.
So you didn't bring Rudolph?
No. They're Rudolph and Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen and Comet and Cupid and Donder and Blitzen. They're all working out.
Working out?
Absolutely. They've got to be in tip-top shape and just one more month, you know. They got a full night. That's a strenuous thing. This time of year, they start getting buff.
So these girls, Belle, Jingle, Noelle, and Velvet, are filling in.
They look a little fatter than the ones I see.
I know, because they haven't been working out like our reindeer.
Santa said they have to be trained to fly.
But you think if they were trained, they could fly?
Yeah.
The reindeer are here on loan from a reindeer farm in Oregon, and they'll be here until January 2nd.
Bringing reindeer here to the zoo brings back a little bit of that wonder and awe that we all have inside of us from having been children, and understanding the wonderful excitement of the holiday season.
As a father, my children are older now, but when I ever went to the zoo, I always knew they experience something different than any other place you could take them because of life in animals. So it's so special.
And it's not just the live reindeer the kids will get a look at this holiday. Santa will also be at the zoo every weekend through Christmas to take photos with the kids, and of course, you can always give him your Christmas wish list. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
And that's going to do it for this edition. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ellen Chang. A reminder that you could catch us online at lacityview.org. You can also follow and like us on Facebook. We'll see you back here next week for more of LA This Week.
Having the foresight to plan for my business,
to plan for my future,
to plan for my family provides a peace of mind.
Having the foresight to sign up for Alert LA County
Gives me that peace of mind when an incident happens close to my home
or near my school.
Alert LA County is a free automated system which sends out information about emergency events via telephone, text, and email. Events may include disasters, evacuations, and safety notices. Register at alert.lacounty.gov.
Alert LA County.
Knowing when you need it most.
You're watching LA City View Channel 35. Your city, your channel.
If everyone could please take their seats. If everyone could please take their seats, I want to welcome you to your Los Angeles City Council meeting. Today's date is Tuesday, December 17th. This council meets on every Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday at 10 a.m. Madam Clerk, I believe we have a quorum. Could you please call the roll?
Blumenfeld, Bonin, Buscaino, Cedillo, Englander, Fuentes, Weezer, Carrasco, Corian, Labange, Martinez, O'Farrell, Parks, Price, Wesson, 10 members present, a quorum, Mr. President.
Okay, first order of business.
Approval of the minutes.
Weezer moves, Blumenfeld seconds. Next.
Commendatory resolutions for approval.
O'Farrell moves, Krikorian seconds. That brings us to our flag salute.
Yes, Mr. President.
Okay, if I can ask everyone to please rise. We'll be led in our flag salute by Joe Buscaino. Joe?
Yes, sir. Right hand over your heart, eyes on our flag, ready to begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, before I call on Mr. Cedillo, Mr. Buscaino, I understand we have some individuals from the port that are here, so we're going to go quickly through the agenda.
Thank you.
And then we will call on them to see if we can get them back to work. So, Madam Clerk, if you could please run through today's agenda.
Items 1 through 3 are items noticed for public hearing. The Department of Building and Safety reports that items 1A and C, 1A, G, and L may be received and filed inasmuch as the liens have been paid, and items 1F and H may be received and filed inasmuch as the liens have been rescinded, and for item 1C may be received and filed as its owner occupied.
Okay, without objection, that'll be the order. Do we have cards?
Cards on items 1 and 2.
Okay, then did we already dispense with item number 3?
No, that's left to be voted on.
So why don't we prepare to vote on that? No, there's a card on. Okay, so let's move on to the next section.
Items 4 through 15 are items for which public hearings have been held.
Okay, specials members. Mr. Weezer?
Number 15, please.
Number 15 for Mr. Weezer. Let's prepare to vote on the other items. If we could please, Madam Clerk, open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
11 ayes. And Mr. President, for item 4, the salary for the General Manager of the Economic and Workforce Development Department will be $215,878 annually.
Okay, so what, Mr. Price, we'll just let us go through the agenda, then we'll get back on that item. Or did we already move that? Then let's just go. Then that's fine. Okay, next.
Items 16 through 41 are items which public hearings have not been held. 10 votes required for consideration.
Without objection, those items are now before us. Do we have cards?
Cards on items 16, 17, 18, 24, 25, 26, 30, 33, 34, 37, and 40.
Okay, let's hold those items and prepare to vote on the remaining items. I don't see any member specials. Okay, seeing none, Madam Clerk, let's prepare to vote on those items. Oh, Mr. Krikorian.
Please.
Was it item
6? Did I miss it already?
Yeah, but what we'll do, did we pass item 6? So we need to reconsider it anyway, so we will do that. Okay, so let's vote on the remaining items. Let's open the roll. Close the roll. Tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Okay, next section. Yes, Mr. Buscaino.
Thank you. 39 forthwith, please.
Forthwith. 39
Yes.
per Mr. Buscaino. Next section.
Items 42 through 47 are closed session items. Do you wish to hold those on the desk?
I will look to, in fact, why don't we hold these and then I'll see what Mr. Krikorian recommends. So let's move on to the next section.
On the supplemental agenda, items 48 and 49 are items for which public hearings have been held.
Specials. Okay, let's prepare to vote on those two items. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Okay, that brings us where?
Items 50 through 52 are items for which public hearings have not been held. 10 votes required for consideration.
Without objection, those items are now before us. Do you have cards?
No cards.
Okay, let's prepare to vote on those items, members. 50 through 52. Let's open the roll. Wait. Per Mr. Labange, 51 special. Let's vote on the remaining items. Let's open the roll. Close the roll, tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Okay, we have 12 members present. There are some ordinances. We should vote on those first. Mr. Wazar?
2 special, please.
Okay, we had to vote on reconsideration on that item.
Sorry about it.
So why don't we just go on and do that right now on item 52?
And also, Mr. President, items 5 and 6 also needs to be reconsidered as well.
Can we link all those together? So let's do that. So that's 5, 6, and 52?
Yes.
Okay, let's prepare to vote on reconsideration. Open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Okay, let's vote on the ordinances. Madam Clerk, if you would identify.
Mr. President, I believe Mr. Krikorian wanted to call item 6 special. That was one of the ordinances.
Okay, well, we'll hold item 6.
And that leaves item 5 if you wish to vote on that now.
Okay, let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Okay, so we're going to move Mr. Buscaino to item 33.
Thank you, Mr. President. I believe this was called for cards. Do you have cards on this item? Do you still want to take those cards?
Okay, then we'll do that. So you want me to just call those up now?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, a Martin Blank and a David Conforti. Please come forward.
Okay. Thank you very much. My name is Martin Blank, and I am on the Advisory Council for Alta Sea at the Port of Los Angeles. Also the lead negotiator for the lease that hopefully you will approve today, and the COO and a director of the Rosalind and Arthur Gilbert Foundation. I'm here to, again, express both the committee's support as well as my support for the approval of this lease today. If this thing works well, this is going to be a major project for the port, which is going to last for decades. I strongly recommend that the council approve it. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Marty. And thank you very much. My name is David Conforti, the Director of Special Projects for the Annenberg Foundation. Thank you very much for the honor of being able to speak for about a minute. And thank you very much to Councilman Joe Buscaino for support, vision, and leadership through this process. Very briefly, the Annenberg Foundation was engaged back in 2009 by the port and by USC to do a visioning study of what a world-class marine research facility might look like at the Port of LA. 2 years later, in 2010, we were so excited by the prospect as proposed by the port and USC that we we went for a $25 million, committed a $25 million gift on behalf of the project. Since then, a lot of things have happened, which you all are fully aware of. We have volunteer leadership in place. We have a name and branding in place in coordination with the Port of Los Angeles. We have a preliminary conceptual master planning by a foremost architecture term so that the specter of a net energy positive facility sans the use of fossil fuels is a real possibility down there. We've also developed formal partnerships with, amongst others, Southern California Marine Institute, JPL, Port Tech LA, and Cabrillo Marine Aquarium. But as I start to close, I wanted to just leave a couple thoughts with you all. First off, at the Annenberg Foundation, we're certainly not used to playing for a bronze medal. And second of all, as you all lead the way as a city council and as Angelenos, we all acknowledge that Los Angeles is on the vanguard of so many things across so many sectors on a national and international basis. When we met with U.S. Department of Commerce in March, they said there's nothing like this project in any urban area in the United States, nor is there plans to have one. What that does is it firmly establishes the Port of Los Angeles with its massive scope and scale as being yet another step ahead of ports around the country, if not the world, and that it will truly establish our port as a port of the future. While we acknowledge that the transshipment of goods and cargo is the first and second most important role of the port, this project will put the port on the world stage in ways yet unseen.
Thank you very much.
Thank you again.
Okay, Mr. Buscaino.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you both to Marty and David for your commitment and guidance of this project, and of course the Annenberg Foundation for stepping up. This, as you heard from Marty, colleagues, this item before you is a 50-year lease, 35 acres of the Port of Los Angeles for the redevelopment of the historic warehouses and the brownfield site at City Dock 1 into transforming it into a state-of-the-art urban marine research complex. The urban marine research complex will be positioned in the city of Los Angeles as a premier location for addressing the environmental problems that are not only important to Southern California, but the entire nation and the world. The port's primary business will always be moving cargo. But as AltaSea evolves and grows over the coming years, it will transform the port to not only a location of moving cargo, but also moving ideas. AltaSea also demonstrates what the city can do with the right combination of public-private leadership. The Annenberg Foundation was instrumental in funding early studies related to this project before you and in creating the AltaSea nonprofit. And I'd again like to thank the Annenberg Foundation, specifically Wallace Annenberg, and the Executive Director, Leonard Abe, for their efforts and vision. Colleagues, as you've often heard me say, the importance of waterfront redevelopment is key and vital to our economic growth in the harbor area, and it was great in a recent trip to the National League of Cities at Seattle. We saw Seattle's waterfront, and I took along with me a few of my colleagues here who saw the importance of what good economic waterfront development can do. So with that, I ask you to approve this before you, and we have an amendment per the city attorney, and I'll read this into the record. Find pursuant to City Charter Section 607, subsection A, that a 50-year lease, term lease with Rockefeller Philanthropy Advisors, Inc., with subsequent lease assignment to AltaSea at the Port of Los Angeles for redevelopment of the City Dock 1 site is the best interest of the City of Los Angeles Harbor Department and the City of Los Angeles in consideration of the need to raise substantial capital from many diverse sources and organizations, demonstrate to such sources and organizations the long-term commitment and viability of the facility, and allow the research center sufficient time to realize the local, state, and national economic benefits and the other public benefits provided by the research center. So I ask you to approve item, 33, as amended.
Okay, Mr. Lamont.
As chair of the committee, I strongly support this and salute Mr. Buscaino and his work, the Port of Los Angeles and their work, the city attorney for the Port of Los Angeles and their work, the Rockefeller Foundation, as well as the Annenberg Foundation. Great concept, members learn about this. Could be duplicated in other facilities, but it's truly a great place at the Port of Los Angeles. Joe, congratulations to you, and also our director, Gary Lee Moore, our past director, Dr. Natz, and also our former colleague, Janice Hahn. Great job, Joe. This is bigger than the Super Bowl.
Thank you, Mr. Labange. Let's prepare to vote on this item. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Okay, forthwith. Okay, Mr. Krikorian, it's my understanding that you want us to deal with a Friday issue or something, so I defer to Mr. Krikorian at this time.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd move that we reconsider item 4 from last Friday's agenda. That's Council File number 13-0620. This related to the granting to Ultramar Incorporated a pipeline franchise for a period of 10 years. The reason for reconsideration is that we had fewer than 12 members when we voted approval of this franchise on Friday, so it will be held over for second consideration until January. Since we now have 12 members, if we can reconsider it, and it is time sensitive, it can pass on first consideration today, hopefully with your aye vote.
Thank you, Mr. Krikorian. And could we have silence in the chambers? Okay, Madam Clerk, let's prepare to vote on that item. This first vote is on reconsideration, correct?
Yes,
Let's
Mr. President.
open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Okay, now that item is before this body. If we could prepare to vote on that, let us please open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Okay.
Thank you, members. And Mr. President, items number 42 through 47 are closed session items. Were all considered by Budget and Finance. They are all settlements of cases that are largely routine. If members have particular questions, we can hear them in closed session. Otherwise, I would recommend, Budget and Finance recommends the City Attorney's recommendations for settlement on all of those matters.
Thank you, Mr. Krikorian. Let's prepare to vote on those items.
Excuse me, Mr. President.
Yes, go right ahead.
For item 42, in the case entitled Rodney Sawyer versus the City of Los Angeles, recommendation is to authorize settlement in the amount of $400,000. Item 43, in the case entitled Linda Farfalla versus the City of Los Angeles, recommendation is to authorize settlement in the amount of $350,000. Item 44, in the case entitled Anishka Gregorian versus Damian Matthew Goodman et al., the recommendation is to authorize settlement in the amount of $165,000. Item 45, in the case entitled Wen Ling Wang versus the City of Los Angeles, recommendation is to authorize settlement in the amount of $275,000. Item 46, in the case entitled Melissa Christian versus the City of Los Angeles and VR Properties 2 LLC, the recommendation is to authorize settlement in the amount of $150,000. And item 47, in the case entitled Kim Fun Lam versus the City of Los Angeles, the recommendation is to authorize settlement in the amount of $325,000.
Okay, let's prepare to vote on those items. Let us open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Okay. Mr. Cedillo, are you ready with your presentation? The floor now belongs to Mr. Cedillo.
Mr. President, if you will, today is the 70th anniversary of the repeal of the Chinese Exclusion Act. In the latter part of the 19th century, the anti-Chinese movement grew, and Chinese were scapegoated for national economic problems. It was during that time period that our Congress adopted the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882, the first and only national law to unjustly single out one ethnic group, namely the Chinese Americans, and later all Asians, for immigration exclusion and prohibition of naturalization. Sound familiar? Over 60 years, increasingly discriminatory and restrictive provisions against Chinese and all other Asians existed effectively, leading to the destruction of communities and deliberate division of families over generations through the separations of husband, wives, and children. This sounds much too familiar. The fortitude and the leadership of organizations such as the Chinese American Citizens Alliance are to be commended for their perseverance to overcome the effects of the exclusion and for the recovery of communities for the past 100 years. And no less, the House of Representatives and the Senate have declared deep expressions of regret for enacting the Chinese Exclusion Act and finding that such acts are incompatible with the basic founding principles that are stated in our Declaration of Independence, that all men are created equal. And so today, Mr. President, with the support of my colleagues, today this city will adopt as a resolution and hereby declare December 17th, 2013 as the 70th anniversary of the repeal of the Chinese Exclusion Acts, and hereforth every December 17th as the day of inclusion, to recognize the positive contributions of all the diverse peoples who built and continue to build this great city of Los Angeles. It is important that we not forget our past so that we do not repeat the errors of our history. I am so proud to bring this forward and ask that Sue Ellen Chang, the president of the Chinese American Citizens Alliance, join us for a brief statement.
Let's give them a round of applause. Congratulations.
Please go ahead.
Good morning, Mr. President and honorable council members. My name is Sue Ellen Chang, the president of the Chinese American Citizens Alliance. I am here speaking on behalf of the Chinese American Citizens Alliance, which is one of the oldest civil rights organizations formed in 1895. Since its founding, the organization has been championing for the civil rights for the Chinese American community particularly. And over the years, we participate in many fights to make sure that the discriminatory laws no longer existing. And the organization is one of the groups that help participate in this effort of a repeal of the Chinese Exclusion Acts. And today I'm here also to salute all of your hard work and the great effort of protecting the civil rights of our great city's citizens. And with your encouragement, and we will continue working hard and educate to make sure that such discrimination laws will not happen again, and that we will work toward a much more inclusive societies that we can all enjoy. And that, again, I express sincere appreciation for your recognition. Thank you.
Mr. President, we have three. We're on the second. This is a surprise. This is not expected, but you just heard from Sue Ellen Chang comment on the resolution. But I want to note for the record, on July 27th, 2013, Sue Ellen retired from the city of Los Angeles after nearly 30 years of dedicated and successful service with the El Pueblo de Los Angeles Historical Monument. She began her service in the city as a consultant to El Pueblo, then joined the city staff as a curator, and assumed the position of director of museums upon the retirement of her predecessor. During her tenure, Joe, you'll appreciate this, she oversaw the establishment of two important museums representing the historical diversity of our great city. One, the Chinese American Museum, and two, the Italian American Museum, serving as the founding executive director of the Chinese American Museum to raise public awareness for the museum and its history to its contributions to the history of the city. Sue Allen has served as a volunteer in the community, notably as Las Angelitas del Pueblo. She's a continuing member and an advisor. She's a well-known face around Chinatown and throughout the city. She's a charter member of the Chinese Historical Society of Southern California and Friends of the Chinatown Library. And in 2013, as the president of Chinese American Citizens Alliance, the oldest Asian American civil rights organization. We wish her well in her retirement and know that she will continue to remain active as her husband does, and expect to continue to see her throughout Chinatown and throughout Southern California. Mr. Weezer.
What a surprise.
Congratulations.
Thank you
Miss,
so much. What a surprise.
Mr. Cedillo, Mr. Labange.
Yes.
Gil, you've done great work, Mr. Cedillo, Mr. Weezer, great work. But under the elected officials are the greatest employees, and Sue Ellen is one of the greatest employees who fought for all people, whether they were Chinese American, Italian American, Irish American, Mexican American, or whomever. She fought the historic fight. And for you, Mr. Cedillo, Mr. Weezer, to remember an angel in the City of Angels like Sue Ellen, I just wanted to rise to thank you both, gentlemen, and let's give Sue Ellen another big hand.
Thank you very much, and thank you, Mr. Cedillo, for helping organize today's event. And I, too, wanted to congratulate Sue Ellen. There are many events that happen at El Pueblo throughout the year, and Sue Ellen is always there, no matter what event it may be, and she's willing to lend a hand to help. But she has been noted for her support of the museum and was active in ensuring that the museum got a long-term lease with the city that was just signed a year ago, 2 years ago now, a year ago, right? Yes. 1 year ago, which was a huge feat. It shows the support that the city has for the museum and the history of Chinese Americans here. One thing that is of note is that she has mentored scores of young staffers who now have successful careers, served as and she continues to serve as a volunteer in many, many capacities. So congratulations, Sue Ellen. It's been a blessing working with you. And thank you for saying you can continue to volunteer with all of us. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. Thank you very much. Can I say a few words?
One last one. And then just before we hear from Sue Ellen, one last one. Just because history happens when it happens, we're also on the 10th anniversary of the Chinese American Museum. Chinese people have been in Los Angeles since 1852, and by 1870 there was an identifiable Chinatown here on the Calle de los Negros around the plaza, not far from us here in downtown Los Angeles. El Pueblo de Los Angeles Historical Monument includes the Garnier Building, and it's the last of the oldest buildings of old Chinatown that was exclusively and continuously inhabited by Chinese immigrants since it was constructed in 1890. In 1987, the Friends of the Chinese American Museum formed, and they've continued to serve the city as an operational partner and volunteer support group, generating community interest support, acquiring artifacts, conducting research, and raising resources for the museum. In 1999, as a new assembly member for the district that included El Pueblo, I was able to work with Sue Allen and with Joe Sorrell, and we were able to put together $1 million for the establishment of both the Chinese and Italian museums. Both are located in El Pueblo. After 20 years of the Chinese American community's dedication, leadership, support, and collaboration with the Friends and the City of Los Angeles, and including state funding, the doors opened on December 18th, 2003 in the Garnier Building within El Pueblo, and tomorrow is the 10th anniversary. Today, we acknowledge the Chinese American Museum for all Angelitos celebrating its 10th anniversary. With that, I present the Friends of the Chinese Museum and Sue Ellen for final words. That's it?
Oh, here's the resolution. Chris, come on up. This is a joint partnership. Okay. We decided to let Sue Ellen have the last word. So on behalf of El Pueblo, Friends of the Chinese American Museum, and the museum itself, which is a joint operation between the city and community, we thank you for this wonderful recognition and your constant support, as Councilman Cedillo has indicated. With me here are the General Manager, Chris Espinoza, Assistant General Manager, Lisa Sarno, and this gentleman is Steve Wong, our Executive Director. And we have staffers and friends here as well. We made it. 10 years of operation as one of the city's new museums and education centers. Your endorsement means that I guess we have made okay or acceptable progress for you, and we appreciate that. Our mission is to present the stories and the culture of an important ethnic group in this city, the Chinese Americans. And your work for us on our behalf over the more than 10 years, exceeding a decade or two, has been very instrumental. And principal among those officials that are here with us today through that duration, unsurprisingly, our councilpersons, Huizar and Cedillo, and we have to thank them very much for this. We look forward to the next decades with enthusiasm and excitement. Understanding and appreciation and the celebration of the city's diversity is essential to the city's vitality and growth. And we intend to be part of the city's team in that future. Thank you. And the last word.
Thank you.
Let's hear it for Sue Ellen.
Well, I'm actually speechless. However, I want to express my deepest appreciation for the opportunity for working with you. Being a civil servant is one of my proudest moments because it is a job that I enjoy, and daily with, for example, Council Member LaBlanche, with Council Member Huizar, and the Council Member, Cedillo, and it just, almost make me feel I'm so happy. I was so happy working there. I did not really want to retire. Can I change my mind? But I guess not. So I will continue my service. But I will take this opportunity to recognize all the people actually help me work the jobs that I like. And then they are true heroes in my mind. And they are the staffers here. They are, please all raise your hands. And also my community partners, my brothers and sisters from the Chinese American Citizens Alliance. Sharon is one of them, Sharon O, Daisy Ma. I cannot name them all, but they are here. So thank you all and for this opportunity, and thank you for this very, very wonderful recognition. I will never forget this moment. Thank you again.
No, thank you and congratulations.
Well, thank you very much. And again, thank you, Mr. Cedillo, for putting this together. And I do also want to recognize the hard work of the El Pueblo staff who works hand in hand with the museum each and every day to provide not only the public a view of what the city's about with the Chinese American Museum, but all the diversity we represent. Chris Espinoza, the General Manager, thank you for your leadership. Lisa Sarno, the Assistant General Manager. And thank you so much. And last but not least, as was mentioned, the city did sign a long-term lease with the museum. They're doing something right. For those of you who haven't visited, it's a great place to go to learn not only about Chinese American history, but about Los Angeles history. That's what it's about. So thank you for your stewardship. You guys have been doing a wonderful job. We look forward to working you hand in hand again to celebrate the next 20, 30, 50, 100 years. Congratulations.
Okay, again, congratulations and thank you all. Members, it's my understanding that the concerns or the questions that Mr. Krikorian had on item 6 have been satisfied. So if we could just vote on that item right now, Madam Clerk. If we could open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Mr. Labange, we're going to go to 51, your item. Item 51.
Right now, we have representatives. Thank you, members. I'm going to call on 51 right now. Mr. Wesson, thank you very much. We have a brief presentation, members, that I want you to be keenly aware of. Coming to the first of the year, we have the great Rose Bowl game and the parade of the Tournament of Roses. This is our Los Angeles Tourism Board. These are representatives of the board. You have a handout here in front of you now. Talk about the economic plus. And the following week will be the national championship game, the last bowl championship series between Florida State and Auburn. More people coming to Los Angeles to enjoy, and the great game just up the road in Pasadena. Patty McJanet, please give a brief presentation, what we need to know, what we can tell our constituencies about having our economic eye open for the number of tourists who are coming in and to help support that wonderful effort.
Okay, good morning. I'm President Wesson and honorable members of the council. I did hear the word brief, so we will try and just give you the highlights. But we're here to report on the economic impact of the Tournament of Roses events, which actually includes the Rose Bowl parade as well as the Rose Bowl game. And because of the significance of the event, last year we actually commissioned an economic study to really better understand the demographics as well as the impacts. And so I have with me my colleague, Wendy Keel, who oversees our research area, and she's going to give you a couple of the highlights.
Okay. We had two objectives in doing this study. Was one, to assess the economic impact of the Tournament of Roses, but also to determine if there was opportunity to increase this impact. And the results of the study did show that there is opportunity to increase the visitors who are attending the Tournament of Roses, again being the game and the parade, particularly those that are viewing the parade. There's also an opportunity to increase the length of stay of those that are staying overnight, and again, particularly those that are staying in our hotels. And third, in order and to attract more of those who are staying in Orange County hotels, to try to entice them to stay in Los Angeles hotels instead. Looking at the number of visitors, there's about 760,000 visitors that attend the Tournament of Roses. This eliminates the double counting of those who attend both the game and the parade. Approximately 70% of those 760,000 people do not live in Los Angeles County. I think there may have been a misconception that the Tournament of Roses is a local event, and it's not. 70% reside outside of Los Angeles County. 50% of those do not stay overnight, though. They do live within a driving area, and then they return home. But the other 50%, that means that 25% do stay in our hotels, and another 25% stay with friends and relatives in private residence. So those hotel room nights that are being generated, it's almost 129,000 room nights that are being generated in LA County. In LA County gets the bulk of it, not Pasadena, because they have a limited amount of hotels to begin with. Looking at the spending of all these visitors, it's about $140 million of direct spending that occurs. Looking at the total benefit, when you add the direct spending to that, you add what is spent by the Tournament of Roses, what's spent by float construction, and all the indirect and the taxes. There's an impact of about $306 million in Los Angeles County because of the Tournament of Roses. Looking at this year's game, which is Stanford and Michigan, we expect the impact to be very similar to last year, if not more. Stanford played last year, so this is the second time, and last year was Wisconsin. So we're trading out a Midwest team for yet another Midwest team, being Michigan, and since they haven't been to the Rose Bowl in a while, we do think that the economic impact will be very similar to last year, if not more.
And just to add just a couple more points to that, Wendy did mention the significance of the exposure and the publicity that Los Angeles gets around the world. The game or the parade itself is broadcast in 8 networks and in 174 countries. And you add that up, it's about 90 million eyeballs that are seeing what a great place Los Angeles is to visit. Secondly, if you have friends and families that are coming for the Rose Bowl, we are running a promotion to try and increase length of stay. So you can go to discoverlosangeles.com and go ahead and book. We expect to make about 20 or book about 20,000 room nights. And then lastly, I'm not sure if you all know that our organization is responsible for the float for the city of Los Angeles. We've been responsible for about 10 years. Last year, the theme was place where you go. With Dr. Seuss, and we featured the airport and the whole modernization. And this year, it's Dreams Come True. So we're focusing on the cultural and entertainment assets of Los Angeles. So on the very last page, you'll see the many attractions. So if you'd like to come decorate with us on December 27th, you're all welcome. And with that,
Patty.
thank you.
Send a memo to all our offices, because I'm sure their staff would. Members, look at this, grow with this, not just the Tournament of Roses and the great game between Wisconsin and also with Stanford. The following week, we have the national championship game here. Our doors should be always open. We thank the city of Pasadena and the tournament, but we could take advantages. All the equestrians could ride through beautiful Hanson Dam area, gazelle horses. Mr. President, I thank you as well, and I will then thank Patty and also our very new team member there. Thank you for this report.
And thank you for your time.
You got it.
Okay, let's vote on this item. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Okay, Mr. Labange. And if we could move on to item 52, let's prepare to vote on that item. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Item 20 forthwith.
#24 called special by SCAN. Sean Murphy. Sean Murphy from North Hollywood, California. Member of St. Charles Parish.
Yes, item 24 I support. Thank you. I'll be speaking on the
Sean.
next item, too.
Good. Thank you very much. No other cards on 24. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Next item, please. Item 17, called special by cards. Mr. Alcala, Mr. Walsh, you're called. Mr. Alcala passes. Mr. Walsh.
John Walsh, blogging at HollywoodHighlands.org. This concerns, item 17 concerns the appointment of Ms. Connie E. Tapia to the Board of Fire and Police Pension Commissioners. We're 100% in favor of the pension system for the police and the fire, and we've checked Ms. Tapia. Number one thing we always check is sex ever since the kiddie porn of one of your commissioners. She has no connection to kiddie porn. She has no sexual relationship with the mayor. So we're very much in favor of Corinne E. Tapia, and we hope she does a good job. I don't know where, I assume she's around here someplace. HollywoodHighlands.org.
18. Let's, okay, Mr. City Attorney, I'm making sure you're on the job. Okay, let's open the roll on 17, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
12 ayes. Next item. 18, called special. Sean Murphy.
Mr. President, can we send item 21 forthwith, please?
21 forthwith.
Thank you.
Is this item 25?
18, Sean.
Oh, okay. Item 18, I support this item.
Okay, no other speakers in the queue. Open the roll, close the roll,
Tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
12 ayes. Next item.
Thank you, Mr. Labange. We're going to move now to item 25, called special by Mr. Murphy. This is 25, and Mr. Herman, item 25.
Good morning, Mr. President. We should save our animals. We cannot, thou shalt not kill animals. Thank you. We should save them.
Thank you, Mr. Murphy. Mr. Herman.
All-American. We kill animals and not give them a place of refuge. Hold my time, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, let's prepare to vote on this item. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Sean, we've got item 30, called a special by you, sir.
Yes, item 30 is a good item. I support it. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. Okay, members, let's prepare to vote on this item. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Okay, now we want to move to item 15. Mr. Huizar.
And I just wanted to bring this to everyone's attention because it's an important item since we are all working to create more pedestrian activity in the streets of Los Angeles. This is a way that encourages more parklets and more bike corrals in our city. CD14 is happy to have had the city's first bike corral and the city's first parklets, both in Northeast LA and here in downtown. And I'm happy to report that these have captured the imagination of many of my constituents. And initial analysis shows that parklets are reinvigorating street life, improving the quality of each neighborhood's public space. I'd like to thank staff for their hard work to create a program within such a short amount of time. Thank you so much. It was not even a year ago that we as a city celebrate the grand opening of our first parklets. And now, by applying lessons learned from the projects in my district, I am pleased that staff are offering Los Angeles a world-class cutting-edge program. The success of this program is just beginning. The Department of Transportation has built in the evaluation methodology into the program so we as a city can document how every one of these projects impacts its neighborhood. So it's not just saying we believe in them, let's build them, but we're actually going to monitor how it improves specific neighborhoods. The Complete Street model empowers communities to create more active, livable streets in their neighborhoods, which will drastically enhance quality of life all over the city of Los Angeles. So the idea was when we first got these parklets out, and these bike corrals, we wanted to ensure that we eventually measured the success and then made it available to the host city. And colleagues, if you have an interested community, it's not much money to build these. The toughest part were to build the original ones, to get through change the code. The code was the toughest part to do, but now they're cheap, easy, and it builds community. I would encourage you to talk to the Department of Transportation should you have interested community who want to move forward with these two types of new creative and invigorating projects for your districts. Thank you. And thank the staff so much for your work on this. Thank you.
Mr. Fuentes.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, Mr. Huizar and the department for bringing this very important item forward. Ms. Martinez will remember the parklet that Pacoima Beautiful created in the Northeast San Fernando Valley when she was executive director. Not only does it present a real sort of green space for the community to recreate and enjoy, but it's also what I think going to be a real success to economic development in communities like the one that I represent. Recently, in the National League of Cities conference that we attended, Seattle demonstrated a very, very smart parklet program that also spurred a lot of economic development. The idea of slowing traffic down, making streets more pedestrian, more friendly, more walkable, makes it so that we can start capturing the opportunities of people stopping, spending, and recreating along a corridor like Van Nuys Boulevard. And so I wanted to thank you, Mr. Huizar. I've been watching this program from afar, and the department for actually moving it forward, and Ms. Martinez for demonstrating it in CD7 when she was executive director there. Very, very important thing. And this is going to be, I think, members, a real secret to our success as we make our communities more livable and revitalized. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's prepare to vote on this item. Let's open the roll, Close the roll, tabulate the vote.
11 eyes.
Okay, let's okay, we want to move to reconsider item, I think it was 12C from last Friday's agenda. So I will now defer to the Madam Clerk.
Yes, Mr. President, that item is Council File 13-1639, and it's the final tract map for property located at 109 to 111 South Kings Road.
Okay, thank you. Now we will continue that item until, Mr. Krikorian? Oh, okay, I see your name. Okay, so now we'll continue that item, Madam Clerk, to January 8th. Yes.
First, Council should vote on reconsideration.
Okay, let's vote on reconsideration. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
11 eyes.
Okay, now we'll continue it for Mr. Koretz till the 8th of January. Let's move to item 40, called Special by Mr. Walsh, John Walsh. Item 40.
John Walsh, blogging at HollywoodHighlands.org. Another one of your cruel reward offers. And I said to everybody, the only person they ever caught was a guy who shot somebody west of La Brea near Century City. We heard the whole story from Mr. Koretz. In other words, if it is a minority killing a white person, you get caught. If it is minority, as in this one, minority killing minority, they put up the phony reward. They get up and torture the parents and the relatives, parade them around here shamefully, and then nothing happens. But when you're white like Ronnie Chasen and get killed and they blame it on a minority, and then it turns out the minority didn't do it. HollywoodHighlands.org. This whole reward system is shameful. And
okay. Let's prepare to vote on this. Let's open the roll. Close the roll, tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
Thank you. We'll now move to item 2, called special by Mr. Sean Murphy and Juan Acala on item 2. Yes, Sean.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. I support the item 2. Thank you.
Mr. Acala.
Approve an allocation totaling $2,135,199 in C-list eligibility funding for the following 5 projects: Recreation and Parks, Martin Luther King Therapeutic Center, Soccer Field, Lincoln Pool, Lawson Recreation Center, lighting, Strathern Park, North Baseball Fields, Strathern Wetlands Park, Synthetic, Soccer Field, $1 million. Well, it's really cool to have all these homeless people playing sports. Why don't you spend it on housing?
Let's stay on the subject, Juan.
The subject is you spend monies on things that...
No, the subject is, that's not the subject, and you know that. Okay, thank you very much. Let's prepare to vote on this item. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
We're going to now move to item 3, called special Donna Pearman, item 3.
Seems like here, like the city council doesn't spend money where it's supposed to be spending. And I don't see really why we need, it's actually what Akala was speaking on, why we need to spend all this money on soccer. Soccer is not even our sport. I mean, ridiculous amounts. Over here, Recreation Park, Strathern Wetlands Park soccer field, $1 million. And we have another one here, Strathern Soccer, and $271,461. Another one for $567,620, and another $160,919. And MLK, $273,978. It's about time we stop taking over these European sports and just spend it on the American sports, or let them pay money for it. In the meantime, you took away our video conferencing.
No, Donna, thank you. That's not the subject. Okay, let's prepare to vote on this item, members. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
Item 26, called special by Juan Akala and Mr. John Walsh on item 26. Please come forward.
I don't know, that policeman's so worried about my hat. He keeps asking me to take off my hat.
That's not this item, Juan.
Communication from the Department of Animal Services relative to the authorization to accept a donation of $50,000 from the Association for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. What about the prevention
Has nothing to do, Juan. You know it. Just stay on this item and you're good. So stay on this.
People are animals.
Okay,
People.
thank you. Come on, Juan.
What an animal is? It's an entity.
Thank you. That has nothing to do with accepting a $50,000 reward. Okay, Mr. Walsh.
John Walsh, blogging at HollywoodHighlands.org, or go to Daniel Gus on this issue. This is the ASPCA, who should be ashamed of themselves for allowing the mass murder of animals by the city of Los Angeles. This is adoption fees for the period through January 2014. I would like you to do a tape of how you kill one of these animals and put that on Channel 35. Put that on Channel 35. This Fund 842 ASPCA, we would like diversity. When you have an adopted animal, why don't you have a pit bull up here? But of course, most of the animals you kill are pit bulls because no one wants to adopt them. HollywoodHighlands.org.
Okay, thank you. Let's prepare to vote on that item. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
Okay, next. Item 37. On 37, I have Mr. Walsh. On 37, I have Mr. Akala. On 37, I have Mr. Constituent. Please come forward. Mr. Walsh passes. Mr. Akala?
Mr. President.
Yes, Mr. Krikorian, I'm sorry.
While Mr. Alcala is working his way up, I'd like to ask that item number 20 and 49 from today's agenda, as well as reconsidered item 4 from Friday's agenda, be sent forthwith, please.
Without objection, that'll be the order. Mr. Akala.
Item 37. It's the motion by Englander and Fuentes relative to amending prior council action of December 8, 2013 regarding the Los Angeles Police Department LAPD special reception in the City Hall Spring Street forecourt in the City Hall Tom Bradley Room. Recommendation for City Council action subject to the approval of the mayor. Ceremonies, prior to council action of October 30th, 2013, transfer appropriately $646 from the unappropriated balance fund number 100-58 to the General Services Fund 100-40 as follows: $406 to the account number 1070 salaries as needed, and $240 to accounts. God, this sounds like peanuts. We're talking about peanuts here.
No, stay on the item. And your opinion is what?
Peanuts.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Constituent. Item 37.
Fellow Angelinos and Mr. Fuentes, thank you. Thank you for the approval of these fundings for our special officers, LAPD. Hoorah, officers of LAPD, for the magnificent job you service this city for. So much and so well have you participated as civilians for your civilians, and now we have this what? Special reception in City Hall, Spring Street, in the city court, in the Tom Bradley room. I really hope out of whatever special funds or padded funds there are in City Hall that are left over, that these officers obtain special gifts on behalf of all of us constituents, because our officers do a hell of a job and deserve the best treatment in any city, because we are the second overpopulated city, and our officers are under tremendous stress when they have to take Batman off the rotunda and say, please go somewhere else. But it's okay, because I don't take it personal, because, Mr. Fuentes, again, you're providing a special reception for LAPD. And this transfer of appropriate funds by the unappropriated balance fund number 100/58 to the General Service Fund number 100/40 as follows: for $406 to the account number 1070 of our salaries. Yes, Los Angeles, there are funds for all our, civilian officers, training officers. And today, here at City of Los Angeles, we're going to give them a what? A special reception. Thank you, officers, for a hell of a job.
Thank you very much. Okay, let's prepare to vote on this item. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
10 ayes.
Okay, item 34, Mr. Akala and Mr. Walsh, John Walsh. Wait, Mr. What? Mr. Akala, I've been informed you're out of time. Mr. Walsh still has time, correct? Yes, Mr. Walsh. You have 1 minute.
1 minute to live. John Walsh, HollywoodHighlands.org, or J. Walsh Confidential. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to speak to the entire world. There is nothing worse at the airport, except being shot, aside from being shot and killed at the airport, than the airport food. I wouldn't feed it to a dog. It's garbage. Not only is it garbage, this incident, what this is they're giving a exclusive contract to Delaware North Companies and Farm Feed Travel Hospitality Services for food. Now, and if you, a cup of coffee and a donut, $7. You want a napkin? Make it $8. The prices are ridiculous. The food is terrible. And look, to the world, they're poisoning you at the airport because their friends got the contract. HollywoodHighlands.org.
Okay, let's prepare to vote on this item. Let's open the roll, Close the roll, tabulate the vote.
10 ayes.
We're going to move to item 16. Madam Clerk. So it's my understanding Mr. Walsh is out of time?
Yes.
Okay, then and Mr. Akala is out of time?
Yes.
Mr. Herman, please come forward.
What item? 6. I'll pass.
Mr. Herman passes. Let's prepare to vote. Let's open the roll. Close the roll. Tabulate the vote.
10 ayes.
All right, now we go to item 1, called Special by Cards. Sean Murphy. And what is this? James T. Lipman, maybe? Followed by, hold on, Sean. Followed by Mr. O'Connell's out of time. So if I could just get Sean and James T. I think Lipton. Okay, come on, Sean. Good to see you again, and happy holidays.
Yeah, I prefer Merry Christmas. I support this item.
Thank you. So can I get James? James, are you here? And Ivan Revolano. Ivan, come on forward. Do we have a Daisy? Daisy? Oliveras? Daisy? Come forward. Yes, sir. State your name for the record.
Guys, Ivan Revolorio.
Oh, wait, could you hold 1 second? Mr. O'Farrell.
I would like to continue item 1K until tomorrow. I understand there is a resolution in place for this. I'd like to continue that item until tomorrow.
And that's
1K.
Okay, without objection, that'll be the order.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I'm being advised of a lien put against my property. And in the past year, 11 and 12, I paid over $40,000 in property taxes. No one could tell me why. And I come to find out that the Department of Building and Safety has been putting liens on my property since 2006 without me even knowing. It took the bank to send me a notice saying of default because of the liens. Now, why this is happening, I have no idea, but I know I found out who the inspector is, Mr. Nichols, and I will be in touch with him to see what the problem is and why is it continuing to happen. And, you know, if there's any problems, I will correct it, but now I'm being told that another lien for almost $6,000 is being put on my property, which I didn't even know about. Again, I had to be told by the bank, which holds the mortgage of this notice. I didn't even get it. So what I'm saying is I need more time to find out what the problem is, for me to correct it if possible, or if not, you know, do something about it, but directly with the inspector.
Okay, so it's my understanding that the council office, District 9, supports a continuance, and they will continue it until January 7th. Okay, so you have from now to January 7th to try to figure out exactly what has occurred. Okay?
Okay, so what you're telling me is to be in touch with Mr. Nichols to see what the problem is and sort it out, correct?
Well, why don't we start out with a discussion with the young man at the table? We'll start with him, and we'll take it from there. Thank you for coming down. Okay, who do we have? Please come forward. Please. And we have translation, if it's needed.
Speak Spanish.
Es mi nombre Juan Pablo Campos, ¿verdad? My name is Juan Pablo Campos. El problema es de que tengo un bill de una propiedad
de una construcción que hice. Era de 550 y subió a 2,000 a 2,279.
I have a bill from a property that I built, and it was $550, and it went up to, ¿cuánto?
2,279.
Yeah, we're having a little difficulty with.
I had a property that I built, and I had a bill for $550, and it went up to $2,579
24 cents.
and 24 cents. ¿Es un bill o le han puesto un embargo?
No, es bill.
Es un bill que teníamos.
It's a bill that we have.
Yeah, we need another microphone.
This is from a property that I built, and I had a
And
bill.
the address? What is the address of the property?
2932 West Montfort Street, Los Angeles.
12932 West Montfort Street in Los Angeles. Pacoima.
Al principio nos dijeron que nos habían mandado uno de $550. Nosotros jamás recibimos ese recibo.
At the beginning, they told us that they sent a bill for $550, but we never got the bill.
Yo pagué todo antes de cuando finalicé la construcción y empecé la construcción, yo pagué todo.
When I finished and I started the construction, we paid for everything, and we have copies of the bills here.
Traemos el recibo donde nos dijeron que quedaba todo cancelado.
We also have a document that indicates that everything that we needed to pay for was paid for.
Queremos arreglar esta situación porque no estamos en paz, tranquilos. Estábamos pendientes de todos los biles,
Yeah.
pero queremos arreglarlo más pronto
Yeah.
posible.
We want to solve this situation. We were up to date with all the bills, but now with this situation, we need to solve it.
Anduvimos el 2 de diciembre.
Maybe I should just jump in right now. The council person from that area will continue this item to January 7th. And maybe we could have a representative from that office chat with you. So what we'll do is continue it to January 7th, and then we'll bring them to the side and have them chat with the appropriate office. No, you're welcome. Sergeant, they should come over this way. No, the other side, to my left. Thank you. Okay, we have left Mr. Herman. Mr. Herman. And do we have a Myra Hall? Okay, Myra. Yes.
Children of Los Angeles, the thousands of you that watch this program, here's a good example of lack of communication breakdown when it comes to the address at 12932 West Montfort, Montfort Street, under a lien for $2,279.24. Where's your conscience, City of Los Angeles, when you have building inspectors failing to itemize their reports? The scrutiny here is about what Zuma Dog talked about, Housing Authority, what he talked about, building and safety, for the record, and I talked about.
Stay on the item then.
So we're talking about hearing protests of appeals or objection. The family, Miss Daisy here, her husband, were speaking in their native language about what? The objection to the cost, the charges that building and safety put upon them, a hardship. How many of you in Los Angeles are affected by the appeals or objections by what? Los Angeles Administrative Code, LAAC. And those affected by what? The legal reasons for what? Citing people? Any non-compliance of code violations by annual inspectors? How American is this? People just want a home. Homeless people want to live in their home. But
Stay
when
on
you're
the
citing,
item. Stay
but when
on
you're
the
citing
item.
them on violations, take a look at it. It's a fact. The city of Los Angeles has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm not going to go on because there's another page. And the page behind this about violations. And how dare you put this burden on the American people? Demolish and abolish your program because it is apprehended.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. All right. Myra, please come forward and give us the address of the property in question.
Okay. My name is Myra Hall. The address is 552 West 110th Street.
Yes, go right ahead.
Okay. What happened was we just received the first notice of this hearing or any of the violations. We just got it this month. What had been going on is the notices were being mailed to the property address, not to my husband, the owner. And so I would like to, and then also I would like to note that the property, the tenant there had been residing there for over 9 years, and she was a Section 8 tenant. So we were having that property inspected at least every year. But the first notice that we received from the city was the one that was posted at the property regarding this hearing. And so I would just like an extension, I guess, to speak with the inspectors or whatever.
Okay, so what we'll do, we'll continue that to January 17th. We will locate the people from the 15th Council District. That's where the property's located. And we'll have you speak with them and the appropriate department people. If you could go back and chat with her, but you have till January 17th. Okay. And I want to make sure that someone gives her name and number to Mr. Buscaino's office. Staff is on the way, so we'll take care of it. You move to the side.
Okay, thank
you. Okay, let's prepare to vote. Let us open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
So now that brings us, Madam Clerk, to general public comment, correct?
Yes, Mr. President.
So if I could have Mr. Walsh and Sean Murphy and Donna Pearman please come forward. John Walsh, Sean, and Donna. Hello again, Sean.
Yeah, Mr. President, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I want to wish my fans a Happy New Year and Feliz Navidad. Kamsahamnida. I hope 2014 is a better year. Hope 2014 is a better year for this council chambers. I hope I don't have to put up with any more disruptions of the meetings. Hope we don't. Yeah, I'd like to talk to you about the disruptions of the meetings. I'm getting close to go to the LA County Supervisors meeting if things don't change. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Murphy. Mr. Walsh, followed by Ms. Pearman. Yes, Mr. Walsh.
John Walsh, blogging at HollywoodHighlands.org. I get 2 minutes. We first, the White Caucus in favor of Dr. George McKenna to be appointed to the LAUSD board. Every black community leader in the community is supporting George McKenna except for Herb Wesson and Mark Ridley Thomas and Karen Bass, who've sold out to the white man. Now, people say, John Walsh, what do you know about racism? Don't ever forget, every black person here, I'm a white guy. We invented racism. We're experts on it. And I'd like to say, Mr. Parks isn't here, but he has come out. We're having an a fight. Very seldom do we see black politicians fighting amongst one another. They're smarter than that, not like Mexican politicians. But here we see black politicians destroying one another. That's happening over there. And who's in favor of the white man? Uncle Herb. Vacation in America. Ladies and gentlemen, on the world tourists. L.A. City Council and the mayor say vacation in America, vacation in California. But where do they vacation? They vacation in Israel, and the mayor is going down under with Glendake. This isn't the first time he's gone down under with Glendake, to coin a phrase. The point I am making here, ladies and gentlemen, don't do as they say. World tourists, stay away from L.A., and we want to recommend Australia and Israel instead of L.A. If it's good enough for the mayor, if it's good enough for the city council, then it should be good enough to all the tourists. Don't listen to their bullshit. They want to get out of this country and this city as fast as they can when it's a holiday. HollywoodHighlands.org, for shame. See you in Australia.
Mr. Blumenfield.
Hey, I just want to take a moment to acknowledge the fact that we have been joined in the back of the room by the women of the Brandeis University Women's Group. They're here, they're retired professionals, they're teachers, administrators, psychologists, other business folks. They've made the trip from San Fernando Valley, taken the metro to be here, to get a docent-led tour of City Hall and to participate in our democracy. And I wanted everyone to give them a big round of applause because they're wonderful folks. Thank you.
Okay, I'm glad you're here. Welcome. This is your City Hall. And public comment gets interesting sometime. Glad you could feel a little bit of that. Ms. Pearman, followed by Mr. Herman, followed by Richard Robinson. Please come forward.
Okay.
Donna Pearman.
Okay. Yes. Women, you could have gone down. If they open up video conferencing in Van Nuys, you could have gone down in Van Nuys and have to make the long trek down here to downtown. That would have been the right thing to do, and then you should still tell yourself on TV. Open up Van Nuys video conferencing. Anyway, Miriam couldn't come because she has plantar fasciitis and can't walk, has trouble walking, and she has a cold, and it takes a hard time for her to travel 2 hours. And pretty soon it's going to be hard due to excessive walking. Pretty soon it's going to be hard for me, too, because I have brittle bone syndrome due to cancer treatments 9 years ago. Anyway, so it's not easily accessible for Van Nuys video conferencing. And Channel 35 is blocking out, the Time Warner is blocking out Channel 35. So do you want to make it so that people can't even see yourselves on TV and people can't see the public people speaking on public? That's what you want to do. So that's another reason why we need to have Van Nuys video conferencing, because you can't even see Channel 35. So the point, we need to succeed from the Valley needs to succeed from the City Council, because the City Council can care less about the Valley. You can see a lot of areas because the buses are very bad, and the Orange Line, it was crowded. And the one time I was on the 720 going down to Santa Monica, I had to hold on to the driver's seat. Anyway, and then you'd rather spend millions of dollars on soccer fields, sport that's not even our sport. Now, so I can speak now on public comment. You shut me off last time. So I don't think it's right to spend millions of dollars on soccer fields when we should have ability to speak to City Council through video conferencing. This is ridiculous. We need to bring back City Council. We need to bring back video conferencing in Van Nuys. I don't care, one way, somehow, get it done.
Thank you, Ms. Pearman. Okay, Richard, you're the closest, followed by Mr. Constituent. And then Mr. Akala, I think you're after Richard. I'll check. Okay, Mr. Constituent.
General public comment, 2 minutes. 2 minutes. And yet, what did you idiots denied our time for? Disruptive behavior? Public figures under public comment? Referred by a city document that called us idiots and morons? Ruth Asakanda, Don't worry, we're going to be here to respect the rights of everyone and all for justice, not the injustice. For the gadfly speaks harshly to those who call us idiots and morons just because we are what? Constituents. And yes, denial of Daniel Gus 2 minutes, he's fine there. 2 minutes from Daniel Gus. And for what? Exactly, that's my point. Giving these warnings are disruptive. No, they're not. It is your way of disrupting the speakers. And at the same time and moment, it's a way of being a dim-witted horse, as Aristotle would put it, or in the Education of Plato, dim-witted idiots. Now, I say, we the people deserve dignity and respect. Does the city of Los Angeles care when you push the homeless people out of LA? That's called genocide. The Nazis did it. The Turks did it. And you're doing it to the population of homeless people. Where's your Christmas joy? Ho, ho, ho. And yes, repeatedly you hinder speakers for protecting the rights of the homeless. I am an advocate for the homeless now. And under this mask as Batman, to you kids, thousands of you kids, there is a man behind the mask who speaks about the homeless people who are in the cold, people who are denied food on the streets, on the sidewalk, a public sidewalk. Believe me, you are hilarious and an upset. As Daniel Gus puts it, you are an idiot.
Thank you. Your time is expired, and we're not the ones walking around with gloves on, a flag around our neck, or a Batman mask. So I'll let the public weigh in on that. Mr. Robinson.
Mr. President, members, Tyler Perry has a new Medea Christmas. The portrayal Tyler Perry has of Medea is fantastic. In the theaters this holiday season is Medea Christmas. Anyone who has not seen Anna Maria Horsford in a long time, since she and Clifton Davis were on television, or Kathy Najima since her portrayal as nun in Sister Act with Whoopi Goldberg, will really enjoy seeing those two with Tyler Perry in this new production of Tyler's. It's fantastic.
Mr. President, he's not talking about an item
So,
the jurisdiction of the
if
city.
you don't mind,
no, Richard, just
one
stay on.
thing I want you to understand is that during general comment, I simply want to make this point. If you haven't seen Tyler Perry's new motion picture, do it. Thank you very much, sir.
Richard, based on your recommendation, I may go this weekend, to be truthful with you. Okay, we have Juan Acala.
City Attorney.
Whoa. Hold his time. Juan Acala, Henry Maureen, and Brian Barajas. So Juan followed by Henry. Mr. Acala, the floor is yours.
City Attorney, the floor is mine, and you do not have the right to interrupt us in public comment. You're going to get sued. And you, cameraman, give us some close-ups. Don't put us so far away. We're not going to go away. See, when they speak, you put them close up because they're politicians. They are thieves. They are liars. They are murderers. Anytime people die on the street, because of the lack of everything, you idiot.
Speak into the mic.
Because of the lack of everything, you are guilty. When you put those ordinances on people to take their houses away, you are guilty. Look at all the people that have come over here begging for you not to put all those liens on their house. You thieves with a license. That's what you are. And then you laugh at that guy because he's wearing some gloves. Look at you. You go out there and smoke your head off every time you get a chance. You're a chain smoker. That makes you an idiot.
No comments from the audience?
No comments from the audience.
Go ahead, Mr. Acala.
Thank you, sir. That guy, it's been...
No. Just go on.
Oh, okay. He's behaving like an idiot all the way through. Anyways, you are all behaving like idiots because you don't know what the people want. We elected you to help us, not to hinder us. And all you do is create ordinances to take the hard-earned money that people make. All those phony tickets that you write in parking meters and everything, nobody has ever voted for a parking meter. I thought we lived in a democracy. No, it is not a democracy. You're a bunch of thieves with a license.
Thank you. So now I have Henry. Mr. Herman, do not applaud. We don't do that
In the
here.
name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Oh, Lord, please do not let me be misunderstood by the people who sheltered my money as shown in Hackman Cole MOUs and failed to account for it on an ongoing basis. Therefore, thereby violating prevailing wage and trust laws, diverting money from public employee pension and benefit plans, and crying about pension and benefit plans every chance they get. You got 22 years of diverting money from everybody that constructed this building, cleaned your floors, all subject to prevailing wage and trust laws. You know, HUD uses government funds. Hackler uses government funds, and the mismanagement of those construction funds has led to the end of CRA funding in the state of California. Now, when are you going to wake up and understand that the money, you got to count for the time and money of others? Only honorable people count for the time and money of others. You're not honorable people. You failed to do it. Now, we know PIGS is the acronym for Principal Initially Given Shelter, and HOGS is the acronym for Hours of Government Service, as shown in MOUs by authority of the Hackler Board and the City Council. And we know how much of the Davis-Bacon y'all been taking and not accounting for it. Now, how Mr. Weston's going to believe the union can give him a 10% discount from labor public construction workers that's regulated by the federal government? Union ain't got that kind of clout, and you ain't no favored nation. If the union gave the city a 10% discount, they'd have to give everybody 10% and destroy the.
Thank you, Mr. Marine. Looking for, oh no, there he is, Mr. Barajas. Please come forward.
Boy. Now, I think I'm just going to make a statement, and then we'll see where we go from here. Linda LaRouche has made it clear, but I can verify what he is saying, that the threat of thermonuclear World War III is very clear ahead. Now, to verify it, the recent landing of the Chinese lander on the moon is exemplary of what the conditions are in the United States and Europe. The very fact that China is moving forward and Russia as well, it means that we are severely lacking in intelligence. That fact is the following, that when we destroy ourselves, when we don't adhere to the Constitution of the United States, and this goes for both the American people and their representatives, we fail to be human beings, and so the fault lies within ourselves, not the stars. The very fact that we are in this mess speaks words that we are not committed to a species fit to survive. And if that's true, if we are not fit to survive, then it's very likely that we will have thermonuclear World War III. The generals know this. So if anybody wants to go ahead with it, then get it over with it. On the other hand, if we wish to survive, if we wish to go into the future, if we wish to control the solar system the best we can, then we should move forward with the implementation of shutting down Wall Street once and for all. The derivatives markets, all of it, shut it all down. And I've been emphasizing that Glass-Steagall will do that. FDR did it, and we must do it again.
Thank you, Mr. Barajas. Okay, that brings us where, Madam Clerk?
Mr. President, for item 36, Council adopted the salary for the Executive Director of Department on Disability, and for the record, that amount is $176,916.24 annually. And Council has motions for posting and referral.
They are posted and referred. What's next?
That clears the desk.
Okay, announcements. Mr. Labange.
Members, yesterday we had a wonderful celebration in Griffith Park. It was starting the 118th year of the park's, our greatest gift. Originally, when given to the city of Los Angeles, the council balked for 2 years because they thought it was too far out of town. Finally, they did take it under the fact that they wanted the water rights. Water is so important. We had a fun celebration. Your constituencies are always welcome in the park, whether it's the Los Angeles Zoo, Travel Town, the Observatory, the Autry National Center, or just plain old hiking trails or equestrian trails. Occasionally, you'll see Councilman Felipe Fuentes and his horse running up the trail. Thank you, Mr. Wesson.
Mr. Bloomingfield, and thank you, Mr. Labange.
Great, thanks. Just wanted to announce to folks that today I'm doing my holiday open house at my district office, which is at 19040 Van Owen Street in Reseda, the corner of Van Owen and Van Alden. We're inviting folks if they want to bring a toy. We're collecting toys to give away. We also have 2 art exhibits up in the building. It's a municipal building. We have Tierra del Sol, a number of pictures that were made by folks with who are developmentally disabled. And we also have the Future Studio LA, We Love LA, Please Make It Better portraits of every single one of the council members and all the elected officials in the city. They have that art exhibit, and we're temporarily showing it in the municipal building in my office in Reseda. So feel free to come for some holiday cheer, to see the art exhibits, and look forward to it. And it takes place today between 4:30 and 7 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bloomingfield. And members, tomorrow will be our last day of council to the first or to the new year. If we could try to get here in a timely fashion, that would be greatly appreciated. Any more announcements? Mr. Labange.
Corey had corrected me because I wanted to thank the man who gave us the gift, Griffith Jenkins Griffith. I just wanted to do that correctly. That was the gift that he gave us. Thank you, Paul. I got to brush up my history. Thank you.
Thank you. Your heart was in the right place, Mr. Labange. If everyone could please rise. Adjourning motions, if everyone could please rise. Okay, first I want to look to Mr. Krikorian's side to see if, are there any adjourning motions to my right. Now I'll go to Mr. Weezar's side. Are there any adjourning motions? Seeing none, this council is adjourned.